The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Welcome back, and in today's segment, we want to focus on what we call two distinct phases of anybody's financial life. As you can tell, we've got a mountain here, and we use this concept a lot. The reason why is because, you know, when you ask somebody, how's retirement going? They say, well, I never had enough time. I don't know how I had enough time to work. And we understand that, but we don't want to lose focus or sight to what got them there. Okay, so we want to kind of look at this description here, and we'll just draw it out for you. You can see there's no words on the screen, but follow me. When we first start working, okay, up here, we're climbing this mountain, and I've always referenced this to be like Mount Everest. A lot of energy, a lot of adrenaline climbing this mountain, just like you, right? 20, 30, 40 years ago, if you will, and many of you are still climbing this mountain. The goal is to be where? Right there at the very top. The goal of any mountain is to climb it, be at the top. The goal or fighting to reach anything in life is a struggle, if you would. Hence the fact we call this the retirement halftime show, right? So let's say we're in this first distinct phase of your financial life. The goal is exactly probably where you are. The goal is to accumulate wealth. In doing that, we understand that it's going to take a lot of risk. It's going to take a lot of patience. It's going to take a lot of sweat, blood, energy, tears, right? There's going to be debt. There's going to be a lot of challenges along the way. Mount Everest, right? A lot of adrenaline climbing it. Where most deaths, if you will, happen is on your way down. That's where there's injury. The same as the second half, if you will, of your financial life. Look at this as the accumulation phase. Reach the top, being retirement. Coming down that mountain, or coming down, is the second distinct phase of your financial life. That happens to be the distribution process. What we should really understand is this. We all, as climbing this mountain in that first phase, could rely on one thing. One thing is a fact. We had our employer to really rely on, right? Your efforts to make money. You had your earned income. And as you matured at that job, or slightly maybe changed jobs along the way, your earned income, or your ability to earn income, was greater. It got greater and greater, and you watched your Social Security get larger and larger because it's based on the last 10 or the highest 10 working years of your life. So when we reach this mountain, one thing when you're coming down that has changed significantly is maybe not your physical effort towards, or your attitudes towards going to work, but it's your desire. Really, I mean, your friends are retiring, you've got relatives that are retiring, it's the American dream. So the fact is, we look out there, right? And we understand as we look out, it seems exciting, right? As of course, there's a lot of emotion that comes into that, and a lot of it is anxiety. And I think the anxiety translates to the biggest fear in retirement, which is, do I have enough? Will I outlive my money in retirement? What if things that are outside of my control happen? What if it's health related to me, to him, to she, to I, right? Those are the concerns that people have. And we've approached or possibly checked a lot of those risks or concerns off when you're watching these shows. But the fact is, it can be scary. And the fact is, when you're climbing this mountain, you may have thought you never needed a plan. You may have thought you never needed an advisor, right? And now you're looking out and you're saying, well, can I do it myself? And I think one thing that we really need to take away and realize is, if you're questioning that for one moment, the answer is no. Shift that risk to a professional. Maybe it's our firm, maybe it's not. But a lot of times what you want to do is sit down with an advisor, at least get the education that you may need to implement a plan yourself. Planning is very important to the retirement goal, if you will. We always say plan first, invest later. Okay, common sense, not always common practice. But the goal is to check off things. One of the biggest things that you want to look at is accumulating your own income, generating your own income, preservation of principal, legacy planning, longevity risk, making sure that we understand the risks associated with retirement, tax risk, legislative risk. There's all things that we don't even think about that impact us significantly, because again, when you were climbing this mountain, approaching retirement, you had W-2 income. Your employer was taking out the taxes. When you generate your own income, who's taking out those taxes? Is it your advisor telling you what tax bracket you're in? Or is it your CPA just filing the taxes and hoping that you'll figure it out on your own? Getting a true tax analysis or a plan in place would do wonders. If anything, it's going to give you peace of mind to know one thing and one thing certain. The goal is to make sure that you prosper in your retirement. Do the things that you deserve to do in your retirement, and be sure that you never outlive your money in retirement. If you've got any questions about how these distinct phases in your retirement plan affect your goals, do not hesitate to give us a call. Take action now. Your retirement matters. We look forward to hearing from you. Stay tuned, there's more show to come.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
This week's tax tip is about the child tax credit and other dependent credit. Under the new tax law, the child tax credit doubled from $1,000 to $2,000. However, there's also another credit called the other dependent credit. That credit is good for any other family member that you can claim on your return as a dependent. If you have a dependent who you paid more than 50% of their living expenses in the prior year, you're eligible to claim them as an other dependent for a $500 credit on your tax return for the prior year. Oftentimes, this may be a parent that you care for, or maybe another child in the home, like a stepchild. If you think that this applies to you, or you have questions about the other dependent credit, feel free to reach out to our office or visit our website. That's this week's tax tip on the other dependent credit and the child tax credit.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes, and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement.